pedal when I'm getting to the bag, ayy. Got the foot on the gas, pedal to the metal when the lane moving fast, ayy. Let them all cross. If they hate, then let them hate and make a bigger boss, ayy.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Denim. As a business owner myself, I personally know the importance of financial stability and preserving cash flow to help navigate through any freight market. With Denim's comprehensive service offering, you now have an all-in-one financial partner whose platform includes factoring, payments, freight audit, document collection management, and analytics, which help keep your business financially healthy and increase your team's time to focus on revenue-producing activities. You can also take advantage of Denim's free credit check, which they perform on all of your customers. And Denim will proactively reach out to you if they spot any signs of credit deterioration. Finally, Denim always pays your carriers first. As a broker, this is imperative to preserving your credit score in the market, which ultimately helps you become a broker of choice to your carrier partners. Are you ready to learn more? Visit denim.com to schedule a demo today. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. But most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak with transportation professionals, because at the end of the day, you guys, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to day 2 here at the Capital Ideas Conference. I got my main man, Mike Mikulik, back on the show to break some awesome stuff down. Mike, thank you so much for joining me here.
Man, no worries. It's always a pleasure to be on here, man. I'm tired. These shows tire you out.
Dude, they really do. It's like you start at 7 in the morning, you go till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. There's so much information. And like, to me, that's what gets me is it doesn't matter how long I've been doing this. I'm always constantly trying to find, like, how do I just get a little bit better? How do I get more efficient in my operation? How do I bring more value to my customers and everything as well?
That's what the TIA does. I mean, we all get educated when we come here, and helps us to be on top of our game.
Yeah.
Like, there's always something that you pull apart or pull away from these shows, which is great.
No, and that's the thing. And especially now, obviously, there's no shortage of AI talk going around anywhere. And, fortunately, doing the show as long as I have, I've met a lot of people from across the industry, and a couple of my buddies were showing me some stuff that they have with the companies that they're working at now. And I'm like, dude, as a smaller operation, a lot of this stuff is going to come in handy. I mean, it could help any operation of any size, but I'm like, we're constantly, it's just Angelo and I, right? At the end of the day. And you're like, and especially in these situations where I'm out on the road, we got freight moving, there's multiple stuff coming. How do we have something behind the scenes to keep us on top of things so the little things don't fall to the wayside?
To be honest with you, if you can use technology and AI to help you on the backside of things, but not take away from the relationship part of the business, that gives you more time to focus on the relationships, which at the end of the day are never going to go away. It's just as important as it was 50 years ago.
Yeah. And that's the thing is it's like, I feel like that's where it helps us focus in on the fundamentals, right? Because for me, the one thing that has been constant throughout everything in my career is the blocking and the tackling of transportation, right? Like, I've talked to prospects literally every single day. Not one of them are necessarily as concerned about what does your tech stack look like, as opposed to, if I give you this overdimensional load, are you going to have the right permits, or are you going to have the right insurance coverage? Do you know how to, contract with a rigging crew to come in, offload this stuff? They're more concerned about that than anything. But behind the scenes, man, this is what helps you pack a larger punch as a smaller operation. And for us, it's like, man, we operate in the real world, right? So it's like we operate based on our revenue. We want to hire people, but like this gives us an opportunity to build our coffers up to where, you know what, maybe we can have 6 to 12 months of a salary set aside already before we deploy that out, because we can run lean and operate at a higher level with just the two of us.
Absolutely. Well, you're set up. Your office is all set up now to start bringing on people. So, but the thing is, I mean, you've been in this now for 2 years? You've been a broker?
2.5 years as an agent.
Yeah, 2.5 years. It takes time. Nothing happens overnight. And people get into this business and they think, hey, you know what? In 6 months, I'm going to start making lots of money. I'm going to have this massive book of business. The reality is, you got to give yourself at least a year, and even sometimes a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
But that ties in too with going after prospects or going after shippers. It's relationship. It takes time to build that trust, for that to build that integrity. It doesn't happen overnight, and no one's going to give you their largest traffic lane right off the bat when they don't even know you. They're going to test you, and you got to prove yourself.
And that's it, right? Like, because like when we started out, like, you know, I've been a broker for 15 years now at this point. We started with nothing. I was expecting it to go a lot faster than it really was. But I also, you know, it was important for me to start in a down market. And you might hear that as like a counterproductive thing. But like, I'm like, dude, if we can develop business now, we're going to develop business anytime at that point. And it's taken a lot longer, but like, I feel like we're developing the right customers for what we want to go after. And, you know, cause relationships is one of those terms. It's thrown around often, all the time, but it's like a relationship comes in like with the situation that we're dealing with today, right? Like we're going to what I would consider above and beyond to solve an issue that's out there. And, you know, it's not like we're out like making a ton of money in it, like, but we're making sure our customers taken care of. We're able to reach out to our core network of carriers who are coming through to really bail this situation out that could have prolonged for a few days. And this is just another thing, though, that comes up on why I'm like, I like working with the same people time and time again, because there's that mutual respect. And they know, like, when I'm coming to them with a solution, or at least my stance on what my solution is for this problem, it's in the best interest of the entire operation as a whole.
Absolutely. Well, look at your success you shared with me this morning. You had a customer you've been doing business with for a year. All of a sudden, their current provider kind of packed it in, or went MIA, so to speak.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they come to you. That's because you had that trust, that relationship with them. You proved yourself. A bit more business gets awarded.
Yeah, and that does. Again, everything's going to take so much longer than you want in those moments. But again, if you just focus, and this is what's been really transformative for me here really within the last 6 months as an entrepreneur, is like really just focusing on the day, Mike, more than anything. Like, I'm not concerned about Monday, Saturday, anything. I'm focused on today, the tasks at hand, what I'm currently doing right now, what's next on my schedule, and that's it. And that's really just simplified it for me, because otherwise, man, I have a ping pong match going on in my head all day long about what's next.
That's where Angelo calms you down, which
dude,
is good.
Straight up.
That's great. I enjoy these shows and the aspect that there's so many different points, and you're learning from other professionals. They're talking about, you know, challenges that they face and what they've learned from it. They're sharing best practices with you. Like, there's so much to take out of all this.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, I look at it as just because I've been doing it for a long time, and like, I can always learn. Like, I'm always trying to find out, how do we get more efficient? How can we increase our profits? How do we increase our runway in business and everything? And sometimes it is, man, the best perspective is a fresh perspective, and you're hearing from people from all walks of the industry. You know, I've been very fortunate to befriend a lot of people out here. So it's like getting to hear multiple sides of it and somebody else's perspective. Because I look at it like this, Mike, you're either going to solidify my standpoint or you're going to enhance my standpoint. And that is a win-win for me.
You can't be in this business thinking you know everything, because you definitely don't. And that's the nice thing. There's a lot of really good professionals. Yes, we're all competing in the same space, but I love the collaboration that takes place, especially here at the TIA. Like, we've met some great people. You know, you've been able to collaborate and take good things from it. I mean, look at you. You and I met at a trade show, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, about that. It'll be coming up on that here soon. And that's the thing, though, is it's like you never know what you get coming to these. And I think like networking, for example, Mike, is the most underrated skill that's not talked about enough out there from a business standpoint. It doesn't matter if it's networking with customers, other business owners. Like, you just got to get out there and meet people, because again, you get caught up in your little routine, and you think, like, and all of a sudden that closed loop is going on in your head, and you don't think that there's any solutions that are out there. And all it takes is coming to an event like this, or maybe just getting into a local entrepreneurs organization, or look at the Chamber of Commerce at your local community, and just talking to other people, because there's a higher probability that you're going to meet somebody who's like, I've been there, I've done that. This is how we fixed it. This is what you need to do. Now go. And that's going to save you potentially your business at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, I think in this business, you need to have people that can mentor you. I mean, there are some people that have, they've been in this business for 40 years.
Yeah.
Even some of them even longer. Their experience is amazing. And I always find when you find a good mentor who's been in this business for a while, they want to share. Like they want to take someone under their wing and share with them some of the, the positive things that they've done, even some of the mistakes that they have made and what they learned from those. That is like gold.
Yeah. Dude, you can't pass that up. And it's like, I'm trying to constantly just be a student of the game and across all facets of the business world. And, it's like my biggest strength now is it's just coming through reading, right? Like finding that next book. Like I'm reading a book now on prospecting, right? I can always get better in prospecting and selling. I don't have it all figured out. And if there's one piece of information that's out there in that book that can help me in my approach, maybe it's like, how am I qualifying my leads and everything to go with, so I go down the right path. I mean, dude, you have to be in that environment, because like where I see like this is a 24/7 thing for a lot of entrepreneurs and sales reps and stuff out there is like you have to constantly be honing your craft in one way, shape, or form. And for me, my big thing is practicing my pitch. Like if I strapped a GoPro to myself, man, people would think I'm like psychotic, because I'm out there talking to myself all the time about, all right, what would I say in this situation? Because I want to be prepared when my number gets called and somebody answers the phone and asks me a certain question. I know exactly what to say in that instance.
One thing I have to give you a lot of credit for is you actually get out and pound the pavement. Like, you know what? Even though it's just a quick introduction meeting or handing off a business card, but at least to put a face to the name, that still is the way to go at it. I mean, I think the prospecting by phone, by email, man, there's a need for it. But man, when you can be in front of a customer face to face, that's where the magic really happens. And I think it accelerates that relationship that much quicker too.
I agree, Mike, because it's like, from my perspective, you'll never be able to feel how much your business potentially could mean to me unless I'm looking you in the eye. Right. And I feel like that's just it's just a different level of communication. This one size fits all in business development, I think, is a detriment to a lot of people. And I fell victim to that, thinking that we're only going to do this. And fortunately, we stopped that after about 15 months. But it was like, man, we're just going to get back to the basics. Like, what am I going to do that others aren't going to do? Cold calling is one of those. So a lot of people are going to say that they do it, but they don't actually do it. And another thing is site visits, man. Getting out there and just shaking people's hands, showing like, hey, we're all real people here at the end of the day, right? Like we all have problems in our personal life. But at the end of the day, they need to know, like, do you actually care? And then that's just another little thing that you can do. It doesn't take that much time to go out and see people.
No. And I think shippers, when you go and see them, you got to bring value to them. We have to educate them on the challenges going on in the market, and even finding ways for them to better source brokers and carriers to work with. And that's the education part. We start talking about fraud. I mean, how much do shippers know what happens on the backside of things with a broker, with trying to prevent it as well too, and sharing those things with a shipper, or helping them to become more aware of potential challenges by using certain people to avoid problems. So I think we got to educate.
No, and that's kind of like what you're doing today, right? On your panel, because like this is another value, is like you're not going to find a better spot to hear from your prospects, right? And that's what you're moderating a shipper panel today, and just getting that feedback from them. That's the invaluable part that most people need to be front and center to learn how to improve.
I love it because Bill Herring's on there, and one of the things he said, and we did this last year, it's like, what do shippers want you to know?
Yeah.
And he brought it up again. It's like, he goes, we need to share stuff that's like, because sometimes they don't even ask what our challenges are, but we want to make it known to, brokers and carriers. These are the core challenges that we're facing, and this is what we need help with. So I'm looking forward to that panel. I mean, we got a carrier on there, we got a broker on there. Who else we got? We got a shipper on there, and then we also got Mark Crystals on there too. To talk a little bit about the market outlook. So I'm excited for it.
No, it's a well-balanced panel at the end of the day, right? Because it's like having the opportunity to listen to a carrier and what their perspectives are on things. And then really, I mean, a lot of it, man, it is just bridging that gap out there, because everybody thinks they're an A player and they're never at fault from their seat, right? Shipper, broker, carrier, does not matter. We all take that approach.
But I think we need to strengthen that bond between carriers, brokers, and shippers. I still think that is something that's lacking in our industry. And I mean, hopefully from this, we'll get some points on it, but I think we're lacking on it. I think, broker carriers, that relationship really has some things that we can work on to strengthen that. these are our partners, right? These are people that are facing our customers too. So we got to strengthen that.
So you've moderated this is this your second time moderating this panel, Mike?
No, it's my third year moderating.
Yeah. What's one thing that you've learned over the years moderating, like hearing from a shipper about what they wish brokers would do a better job of articulating to them?
They talk a lot about relationship. A big thing that, I mean, in the last couple of years, the biggest thing that has come up is like, you know, if we're using a broker, I don't want somebody who's just going to go and post my load on a load board.
Yeah.
They're really all about carrier relationship. They want to understand, like, as a broker, what are your relationships with carriers like? How are you strengthening those? Like, what kind of value can you derive from that? That's a big topic.
Yeah.
Instead of just, you know, I get a load, I go and I post it, I take the lowest rate and shoot it back to the shipper. They don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, for me, what a big value add is it's that consistency factor, right? So it's like if a broker or if a customer of mine is coming to me, I want to give them that exact same rate every single time. And I try and break it down on a region by region basis, right? Because like, I don't care what anybody says. The rate does not change that much if it's like 200 miles in a different, you know, in the same region and stuff like that. It might be a couple of pennies here and there, but it's not anything that it's going to completely change the trajectory of how the load's getting sourced or anything like that. So it's like, I really try and keep that consistency from there. And then again, on the carrier side as well, man, we like working with the same drivers time and time again. Our customers notice, our customers appreciate that. And I feel like that is like a fast track that a lot of brokers could start implementing with their customers because they notice that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I know right now, I know how the market is. I know how any broker who's going to listen to this is going to roll their eyes and say that it's not that hard to cover freight. You're right. It's not that hard to cover freight, but it's not always going to be this way. If you've been in this industry pre-COVID at all, you know that there's going to be times where you're going to have to make 50, 60, 70 outbound calls to cover a load. We just did that 7 days ago. It was a tough to cover destination. It's one of our biggest customers. We don't say no to freight for them.
No.
We made, Angelo made like 50 some outbound calls. We found a carrier for it. Just like I said, man, there's a carrier for every truckload in America, but are you going to be willing to put in the work? How many people though, based on what has happened over these last couple of years, Mike, are going to put in that effort? Are they going to throw some BS excuse out there like, oh, this happened or that happened, go find somebody else? That is the fastest way to lose business.
Absolutely. The customers always remember that too.
Oh, dude, they'll never forget. They'll never forget that stuff. And I just wish more individuals would focus on that. And that's why I say, like, man, we're going to focus on the fundamentals day in and day out. I want to bring that consistent product that no matter what, if I'm losing $500 on a load or making $200 on a load or breaking even, my customer is not going to notice any difference.
And as a broker, you can't look at success on a transaction by transaction basis. You got to look at the account as an overall. Yeah. I mean, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, you're going to break even on some. Look at the complete picture.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. You need that rolling 12-month mentality, right? Like I try and think about that all the time because, you know, again, we're building, right? Like we don't have just endless capital just sitting around. No. You know, every dollar counts, but I also need to look at it as all right, next 12 months, what could it look like? Yes, it sucks today in that moment, but at the end of the day, I know how hard it is to get customers. Contrary to what you hear on the internet, it takes a very long time to build up a book of business of any industry that's out there. I'm not willing to risk losing a customer over $200 or $300.
No, there's no point to it. You got to look at the long term benefit of that customer, and it happens.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Is it's like it's got to help. You just literally need to be thinking about that more times than not. And you know, I'm like, we're very fortunate having our operation within SPI, and you guys work with us. You know, like we've taken some L's on some loads, and you guys work with us to help spread it out and stuff like that. So there's not just one, you know, giving that optionality for it. And that's why it's like, for me, if you're going to go out there and start a business and stuff like that, or you're a smaller operation and you're having cash flow issues, that's why I think the agency model is such a phenomenal opportunity for a lot of people, especially when you're getting started out.
Well, you can punch above your weight class.
Yeah.
We're talking about this morning. You punch above your weight class. All of a sudden now you got a $300 million company that's back behind you.
No, and that's exactly it, right? Like we can actually go out there and go after customers of every size because we have that capability now. We have a complete suite of back office support. You know, there's no insurance requirements that's going to land on our table that we're going to be like, I can't afford that. You know, we have that opportunity to go out there and work that stuff out just so we can go out there and actually operate. Because like, that's the thing, man. Like for me personally, I don't like doing paperwork. Right. All right. I like to sell. I like to move freight. That's what I like to do. I like to get out there and experience that stuff. I don't like doing back office work at all. It's one of my biggest weaknesses.
I love how you're always praising the back office, the client care team at SPI, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And even when I travel around and talk to our agents, they all speak so highly of our client care team. And you know what that is? That's our stickiness factor. Like our agents don't leave because they're happy. They feel like they're well supported with SPI. And when new agents come on board, the number one thing that they find, the reason they're leaving is they're not having any lack of back office support.
Yeah.
Or the other thing too is, they've never met the agent. It's amazing if you have an agent of a good size and been with them for a while, and they've been with you for a while, and you've never met them. My gosh, like what?
Same thing with the shippers though too, man.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people who don't go out and visit their customers. Like I think it's the most effective thing you can do from business development, whether it's a current customer, an existing customer, it does not matter. Just get out there and see face. And, just like with, here at this, all of my advertisers for this show, you guys are all under one roof. I want to come out and hang out with you guys, right? Like
this is we're having barbecue tonight.
Exactly. Right. But it's like, it's those things that happen outside of working hours. That's where people, like, again, you can just break down and you look at your partners at a different level that way, because it's like, man, at the end of the day, I'm convinced, man, 95% of the people on this earth, they just want to work hard, provide for their family, and give them a life and a better life out there. And once you can kind of just break that down, man, it gets simple, right? It's not easy, but it gets simple in the long run with your businesses.
Absolutely. Now, getting out there and seeing your customers is important. I mean, one of our agents had a customer here in San Antonio, went and visited yesterday. And you know what? To put a face to the name, to learn a little bit more about their business, to actually see their business and what they actually produce and manufacture, it takes it to another level. Yeah,
it really does, man. And I think like it is a lost art. I think that as technology and everything increases, it makes it easier to not do those things anymore, right? And last time I checked, easy doesn't necessarily pay well.
Well, you get comfortable too. That's the thing. You get comfortable.
And that's exactly it, right? Like it's easy to do things when you're motivated, right? Like just like it's easy to make all the cold calls in the world when you're motivated, but are you going to do it when you don't feel like it? Are you going to do it when you just got rejected 8,700 times? Are you going to show up and do it the next day with a smile on your face? More people than not won't.
Yeah. Some people give up too soon though.
Yeah.
You got to be in it for the long haul.
Dude, I'm right there with you. And like, I look at it from, getting told no is part of business, right? Like you're going to get told no. You're going to get told no more often than you want to hear no. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, it is that follow-up. How many times have you caught somebody at a bad moment where they're like, no, I'm not interested, I don't want to talk. And then you call them back 2-3 weeks later, maybe a month later, they're in a completely different mood. They're completely open to your conversation at that time, all because you followed up.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, hey, it's natural human tendency, fear of rejection. No one wants to be rejected.
Not at all. How have you dealt with that, Mike? Like you've been in sales your very long time. I'm not going to say your entire life, but
actually,
but no is a part of it. How do you deal with rejection? But then most importantly, how do you handle it when agents come to you and they're like, dude, how do I handle this? Like it's just because it starts to wear on you.
You can't take it personal.
Yeah.
Like it's not personal. It's not personal at all. You got to roll with it. You know what? You can go after a prospect and you know what? It takes time. I mean, what do they say? Things don't usually happen till like the 7th or 8th
point of contact,
right? 8th point of contact. Most people give up after the third or fourth try.
Yeah.
And they're missing out on an opportunity. Some people, and you got to almost, when you finally do have a conversation, you know that there's a good fit, you got to stay with it. And then if you find ones that, you're not too sure about if it's going to be a good fit, know in your mind, back away from it. Don't take anything that's not going to be a good fit. It's got to be a win-win for everybody.
How do you handle it when it doesn't work out, right? Because you always want to think that every relationship that you onboard is going to be the best relationship of all time. But eventually, after you start working with somebody for a while, it's not panning out. How do you identify that? How do you end that?
I think the first thing, we all have a code of ethics. You have things that are really, really important. Your values. What do you value? I mean, you value integrity. You value loyalty, trustworthiness. And if that's important to you, you want to make sure that you're working with a customer that those same values line up as well. Yeah. And when they don't line up like that, it's not going to be a good partnership. Yeah. And sometimes in those cases, you gotta put it aside. I mean, as agents are going and growing their business, it's funny. This happens quite a bit. They'll take whatever they possibly can, and then as they have a substantial book of business, they start looking and go, you know what, these two accounts aren't a good fit for me.
Yeah.
And they may pass them aside. But that's good. That's good. Not everyone's going to be the right fit for you.
I think that after you've been doing anything for an extended period of time, you realize that, right? Like not all business is good business. And, and this is why I'm such a firm believer in like, you have to amplify your outreach all the time because like, I mean, dude, we've went through this, right? Like we had a customer last fall, we moved a lot of volume for, but you know what? They're concerned about the bottom line only. And it just didn't work out in the long run, right? So it's like, if we would have just rested on that, I mean, that it takes time to identify a lot of those things because everybody's good in the moment until they're not.
Right. No. And it takes time. And you got to ask the right questions too. I mean, find out what's important to them.
Yeah.
That's part of building that relationship though.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, man, is it's like, I feel like we're at a time, and I'm sure every generation has said this out there, where everybody just wants instant. They want instant results. And I look at it as like, kind of like the Amazon effect. You can literally get anything delivered to you same day. It does not matter. Food, everything that's out there. So people want instant results. They don't want to put in what's actually required. And then it's going to reach a point in time in your business or your partnerships where it's like, dude, this isn't working out. You got to cut that and you got to move on because it's like, it's inevitable. Like,
Right.
If it's not for you, congratulations, you've cracked the literal code on life. But it's like, I just look at it as just one of those things where it's like, you got to be committed to the process. You're never good. Just like your prospects out there who you don't want to call, everybody's good until they're not. And who are they going to think of the moment that they're not? Are they going to call you? Or are they going to call the 85 other providers that are hitting them up?
Success takes time, and you got to be in it for the long haul. You got to be in it for the long haul. Simple as that. And I think it's unfortunate. A lot of people give up too soon.
Yeah.
And and then if they would have given another 6 months, I mean, I think anybody who wants to be a freight agent either has a book of business or if they're starting from scratch, you got to plan on a year. Like you have to plan that it's going to take you a year before you actually get yourself going. Unless you're, out of luck, you get a big whale of an account right away. But for the majority of it, it's a year. And it's unfortunate because I've seen agents that have come on, and they've been working hard, and then 6 months, it's just still not quite there, and they give up.
Yeah.
And then they leave. And it's like, and more of it boils down to is having the finances to be able to work and to bet on yourself for a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. And then if you don't have the finances, are you going to work part-time to keep your bills paid and everything else? I mean, this is not an easy route. Like literally when you bet on yourself, it is the literal hardest route you can possibly choose in business.
And you find out what you're really made out of
as a
person.
Straight up. Now I'm like, Mike, from my perspective, man, like I'm unemployable at this point, right? I've been on my own for 5 years. I can't answer to anybody. Are you kidding me? I'm going to figure it out, right? And I look at it as, it's taken me a while. It's taken me a lot longer to get where it was, but starting 2 companies now with 0 commitments for revenue at all, I have such a greater respect and for like an appreciation for the business that I do have. And I know how hard it is to curate and develop that business. I'm not going to take the easy route out that might short-term benefit me. That's going to cause somebody to look at me in a different light and then just pull the business entirely.
Yeah. Can't give up. Just keep going. Keep plugging away at it.
Dude, Mike, I appreciate your time, and
that's gonna
that's gonna be it, man. We're we're right up there, but dude, I mean, you do the shipper panel every year. This is why people need to come out to Capital Ideas, you guys. There's information coming from every side, but how do people reach out to you if they want to find out more?
Email me, call me. I mean, check me out on LinkedIn. I always respond to messages, so that's probably the best way to get in touch with me.
Perfect. Hit him up on there, you guys. If you guys can't find Mike or anybody at the SPI, you guys know where to do. Come to me. I'll put you in contact with them. That's going to be it for today, you guys. We'll be back on Monday. We'll be back in studio. This is the last Freight Coach Roadshow of the week. I need to get back home to my family. But as always, if you got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, you guys. If you're feeling really ambitious after this one, rank the show on iTunes and Spotify, because if you saw value, that's going to help your network see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.